Hi friends! I just wanted to hop on really quickly before the actual video starts in order to bring attention to the Quileute tribe, which is a real tribe in La Push, Washington. Some people, I believe, were under the misconception that this was a fictional tribe that was made up for the books. That's not true. They're a real tribe. I'll link some information about them down below in the description box so you can learn more about the Quileute Nation. I also wanted to bring attention to their Move to Higher Ground campaign. A lot of their facilities and buildings are in danger of being washed away due to floods or tsunami waves, so they're trying to raise money to be able to move a bunch of their buildings to higher ground. First, I think right now they're working on moving their school, which services a lot of nations in the area. Amanda the Jedi has a really good intro about it in her Midnight Sun review. I'll link it above. And she also does just a really good recap of the entire book along with her review and her thoughts versus my video is just kind of me rambling about what I thought about, so definitely check out her video as well. Now, on to the regularly scheduled programming. Enjoy! Hi friends! Welcome to my channel. My name is Isha, and today, no law, we're going to be doing looks and books because I just read Midnight Sun, which is Twilight from Edward's point of view, and I need to talk about it. While I talk about it, I'm going to be doing my makeup. I'm going to do a makeup look that I've never done before, and I want it to be like super dramatic but like also Twilight theme, so fingers crossed it works. I'm gonna need some tape for it. So I make it less sticky so that it doesn't like totally kill my skin around my eyes. I just want to preface everything I'm about to say with I greatly enjoyed the Twilight series and Midnight Sun, but I do realize that there are a lot of problematic aspects in the relationship and what's portrayed, and we'll get into some of that as I start talking, my review, whatever you want to call this. I really just have a lot of thoughts, and I have one very good friend. We kind of read the book together, but I need to lay it all out there. Overall, I really enjoyed the book. I thought it was super interesting to see things from Edward's perspective. One thing I really enjoyed was because Edward can read people's minds, you get to see a lot of what like Jasper and Alice are thinking. There's one point at the end of the book where Alice literally runs through every single option of like her cover-up plan for after Bella runs off in Phoenix and they have the fight with James in the dance studio. I thought that was really cool, and I really enjoyed learning more about Jasper. I love learning more about how his power works, and I didn't realize that he was doing so much in that baseball field when the Victoria, James, and Laurent crowd shows up. I thought that was fantastic to read about how the same way Bella can stretch her silence shield when she's a vampire, Jasper can kind of like stretch his emotion shield. Y'all, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know if this is gonna turn out really well or very bad, but it's all for good fun anyway, right? So those are some of the bits that I really liked in Midnight Sun. But there are also some bits that, first of all, Edward has like 438 thoughts per second. It's just, the book is so, it's 600 pages, it's over 600 pages long. The book is so long because he thinks so much, and some of that thinking is interesting. You kind of get to see why he acted in certain ways and what was going through his head. But in other instances, it was just like, okay, we get it, you're tormented over Bella. Like, yes, we're going through like so many thoughts. I'll be honest, I like skimmed a little bit. I sort of skimmed some of the Twilight books too, so sorry. He like kept tormenting himself over what a monster he is towards Bella, and how he shouldn't do stuff, and then he does the stuff anyway, but it's still bad. I don't know. And I get it. It's like he's 17. He's like 100 and whatever years old, but when you're turned into a vampire, you like freeze at whatever age you are, your thinking, your body, etc. So he's still like, he still has the mind of a 17-year-old technically as well. I also forget a lot of the times that this is a novel for younger adults or like tweenagers, so very chaste, as my friend put it. I also enjoyed the moment after the meadow when they're in Bella's room and Edward starts thinking about the other monster inside him, not the vampire monster, but the lust monster, and then he starts going through all of the details of this different monster. I just found that highly entertaining. I thought it was I just laughed. I didn't know what else to do. It was just so entertaining to me. I don't know why. I also love, there was a point in the meadow when he puts his cheek on Bella's chest. There was a lot of like cheek to body part action, which was also entertaining for me. But there's this point when he puts his cheek on Bella's heart and they just stay like that for a little bit, and he gives himself a whole therapy session. I was like, you go, man. Like, he went from one end to the other, and like there was a lot of growth there very, very quickly, obviously, because he's a vampire and his mind thinks fast, but you know, good for you, my dude. Of course, there were the little problematic bits where when he's sneaking into Bella's room, first of all, he brings oil or something to make the window mechanism more slick so that the window doesn't make noise when he creepily sneaks into her room. And as he's doing it, he's like justifying it by saying how he and all of his siblings have all committed worse crimes than sneaking into somebody's room. And he's better than Mike because Mike would be a creepy peeping Tom while he's like a moral peeping Tom. I don't know. It's just weird and wrong. Don't sneak into people's rooms and don't get into relationships with people who sneak into your room. That's a gross violation of your privacy. That's not even legal advice. That's just life advice. Sorry, I'm jumping around a lot. I don't have all my thoughts written down like I usually do. What else? Oh, the amount of gaslighting. Unreal. I mean, we already knew that, but just from Edward's perspective, sort of makes it worse. I don't know why. Probably because we're hearing the gaslighter gaslight. Also, we learn some more backstory about the characters, which is interesting, but at the same time, there's this whole backstory on Esme and Carlisle, and Esme apparently meets Carlisle when she's super young, and then almost dies. I forget how. I think she like fell off a cliff or something, and he turns her, and she like remembers him from her youth and was just like, this is the man I'm supposed to be with. It came off like very creepy and very like grooming like to me. Like, she knows this man from her childhood. So I thought that was pretty messed up. And then also the way Edward talks about Carlisle is very cult leader-ish, I would say. Like, Carlisle's the cult leader, which I guess sort of, they're a coven, they're a cult of vampires. I don't know. But it's like, he's just like, I need to make Carlisle proud. I need to live up to who Carlisle thinks I am. Like, it's just very, it's more than father figure, like, in my opinion. It's more how I would imagine you would try to appease your cult master. I did enjoy the extra backstory on Rosalie. I will say none of this would have happened if Alice did not set things in motion. She saw all these different futures and then she was like, Bella and I are gonna be best friends one day, and like she basically showed Edward that he would fall in love with her. So just making the self-fulfilling prophecy happen, I guess. That was interesting to note, that it's not just Edward who's like kind of going around gaslighting Bella and sort of pushing this semi-abusive to abusive relationship. Alice also played a particular role in that. I love Alice. I think she's, I want like an Alice spin-off and an Emmett spin-off. I I really enjoyed all the stuff that we learned about Emmett, got to learn his personality a little bit more. I also really enjoyed learning more about Bella. Her character was fleshed out a little bit more here, which I think makes sense. So she's not just kind of this blank slate, bland kind of girl. Oh, girl. I hated that Edward called her the girl for so much of the book. So patronizing. Oh, the new information that Edward can't read Charlie's thoughts either. He can kind of read them, but they're murky. And Renee has super loud thoughts, but like people are drawn to her naturally. It's just an interesting juxtaposition of how Edward sees Bella's parents, and he kind of figures out this is what made Bella. People are drawn to Bella, but Edward can't read her thoughts because of Charlie, so it kind of insinuates that it might be genetic. Also, a funny moment there when Edward was like, I just assumed Chief Swan was slow because I couldn't really hear his thoughts, but after he figures out he can't hear Bella's thoughts at all, he was like, oh. We also see the beginnings of the werewolf drama. I found it super interesting that Edward thinks that Jacob's head is very easy to be in. It's very relaxing for him, and it's just like a little bit of foreshadowing, like LOL, that's not gonna last long. And the smells, when Edward smelled Jacob at Bella's house, he was like, ew, gross. And when Jacob smelled Edward at prom, that was also very entertaining. This was also super funny. I thought Stephenie Meyer, there are a couple moments in the book when Stephenie Meyer I think is like kind of poking fun at her haters, or like 50 Shades of Grey. Edward doesn't notice that Bella is clumsy until like page 120, and when Renee comes to see Bella at the hospital, somebody remarks that like, oh, you're Isabella Swan's mother all the way from Georgia, and she's like, no, Florida. And Georgia is where E.L. James set Anastasia's mom. You can also really see where the masochism comes from, what inspired 50 Shades of Grey, and I haven't read the book, but the movie is awful for 365 days on Netflix. Like, don't watch it. It's very bad. Do not watch it. But all of Edward's, the pain, the fire burning sensation, he goes from, oh my god, it hurts so much, to like, ooh, it hurts so good. And I'm just like, still creepy what you're doing to Bella, but sure. I also did want to make a note about the moment Bella sees Edward in the sunlight in the meadow, and how Edward is so sure that she's going to run from him screaming for her life, because he's like, well, I look like I'm on literal fire. And when we read it from Bella's perspective, it was like, he's sparkling in the sun, he looks so beautiful. And that's one of the main things to be gained from Midnight Sun, is we understand a little bit more about Edward's hesitancy with everything, why he acts a lot of the way he does in Twilight, because in Twilight we're reading everything from Bella's perspective, so everything that should be technically scary or predatory to humans in general, Bella sees as beautiful or extremely attractive, and so we're not as off-put while reading Twilight than we should be according to Edward's perspective in Midnight Sun. Shiny boy Edward. Overall, like I said, I enjoyed it. I was really surprised, although maybe I shouldn't have been, but I was very, very surprised at how different my emotions were reading Midnight Sun now as a 26-year-old as opposed to when I read Twilight in 2006. For me, my favorite scene in Twilight, the first book, was the post-meadow scene when they're in Bella's bedroom, and I was like, oh, so many feelings. This is so romantic, and like, this is what love feels like. And like, like now I'm like, this is a very abusive and creepy relationship. But you know, they're 17 years old. This is what love at 17 feels like. It's very all-consuming, you are my entire world type of relationship. I still wouldn't characterize it as a healthy relationship. Sorry, this was kind of all over the place. I just wanted to get my thoughts out there, see what you guys think. Let me know in the comments below, are you guys or were you guys Twilight fans? Did you read Midnight Sun? What did you think? Do you agree with my points? Do you disagree? I think all in all, I really want an Alice spinoff and a Emmett spinoff. I think those would be two really fun characters to dive into. And that concludes our very first looks and books. I do enjoy reading, so I might do another one of these in the future. We'll see. I am very happy with how this look turned out. Let me zoom you guys in a little bit. This is the finished look. I love the way this highlight catches the light. I really wanted to do something kind of like Twilight-esque, so with the black and the red with like some like shimmery bits. Anyway, let me know what you think about Midnight Sun. Let me know what you think about this look. This is the first time I've done an all black eyeshadow look. That concludes today's video. Thank you so very much for watching me. I hope you all have a fantastic day, and I will see you all next time. Bye!